This is called Memories. I did the original painting when I was in Britain, and it shows a love affair. The technique I used is what I call interdimensional shift, meaning you can see the lady over there, but inside that face there are a lot of other hidden internal aspects of romance. And then I have this lady here who seems to be in kind of a melancholic pose. It shows a lady who was in love before. Something went wrong in their love affair. And then later the lover, who is the man, comes back, fall in love again. That's the representation of that aspect, is the hand from the bottom. So he's reaching out to this lady who is being probably taking a bath. She's alone in her bedroom. So this is a visionary interpretation of a man trying to reach out mentally to this girl, and then he phones her, and then the girl is not really ready to get back into the love act. So she's memorizing, or rather what I call reminiscing over the past, which was great when they were having a smooth love affair. But then she's conflicted with the debate whether she goes back into that love affair. So that's why I created this piece that I call Memories, and the original is still under my private collection and is valued at almost $100,000. I don't want to sell it. So what I did, I published it. So what you see here in the imagery is what we call a limited artist proof hand-enhanced giclée. It's printed on canvas. I go back in my studio, I enhance it, and then I bring it on the market. So that's what it is.
It's beautiful.
Most of our works here are rendered. We sell them framed. And then this particular painting is called Music Grammy. I create my own names that are not existent in the normal English language. For example, music is music, but what I do, I spell it M-U-S-I-A, Music Grammy. Grammy is G-R-A-M-M-I-E. So basically this piece is a celebration of the evolution of sound from the old days of Edison, when he created what we call a gramophone. I guess all that sounds came from that genius called Edison. So I created that piece there in the painting as a symbol for civilization, because his inventions allowed us to communicate with each other, and all the facade electricity. Electricity is actually what I've shown in the painting by using so many conflicting aspects that are not really realistic. So I call it like, it's a kind of a cubistic oriented painting, and it has a piano which is not very abstract. The piano is one of the most loved, probably most played instrument in time, when we remember that the classical music, or the classical era, was based on piano as a backbone of the orchestra, and then they built up other instruments that came around. So that's a symbolic aspect of the interpretation of the beginning of sound. And then the other pieces are my celebration of jazz. Jazz is a format that came in the early 20s and 30s, which also evolves from the marriage between African American rhythms and the European classical format that evolved as jazz. And the colors are representative of California, which is a sunny place. And it's kind of a contradiction of the other earlier painting, which is in grays, because when I was in Britain, the weather there is not as attractive as it is here in California. So basically it's part of the painting.
Thank you for sharing your paintings. They're both very beautiful. Thank you for your time. Again, this is Emmy Lu.
My pleasure. My pleasure.